Wenger out. Emery out. Arteta out. Arsenal fans have been calling for their managers to be sacked for nearly 11 years, and rightly so. The club has been in complete ruins. Even celebrate top 4 finishes as title wins at times. The Gooners even called for Mikel Arteta to get the sack as he failed to impress or even improve the team in his first couple of seasons. However, Arteta has performed some magic this year. The club is currently flying in the Premier League and is seriously challenging Manchester City for the title. Let us take a look at how Arteta transformed this Arsenal team. Mikel Arteta took charge of Arsenal on December 22, 2019. He inherited a squad sitting at 11th in the league and struggling to get results. Arteta's tenure did not look promising. He failed to improve the club's position and finished the season in the 8th spot. However, Arsenal defeated Manchester City in the FA Cup semi-final before winning the title over their local rivals, Chelsea. In the following season, Arteta went on to win his second trophy as a manager after defeating Liverpool in the Community Shield. Unfortunately, Arsenal had a worse season than the previous one. They finished 8th in the league, crashed out of the FA Cup 4th round, and lost to Unai Emery's Villarreal in the Europa League semi-finals. In modern football, it's become easy for football managers to get the sack, especially when big clubs fail to achieve their usual success. After 2 seasons, Arsenal fans asked for Arteta to leave the club. Well, Arsenal's board decided to keep faith in Arteta and kept on fully backing him. His role was changed from first-team head coach to manager, which gave him a wider remit at the club. He was given the authority to get rid of any player he didn't want. The club sold all underperforming players including Alex Iwobi, Xordan Mustaphi, Matteo Guendouzi, and many others. What stands out the most is how the board allowed Arteta to offload such players as Ozil, Lacazette, Pepe, and Aubameyang. Any other club would have stood beside the players due to their reputation and the money spent on them. However, Arsenal's board gave Arteta all the support he needed. They stood by his decisions, while most fans and pundits criticized him. The trust put in Arteta by the Arsenal board is the main reason behind the club's turnaround. Arsenal's board also backed Arteta when it came to recruitment. The club brought in players such as Thomas Partey, Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba, Martin Odegaard, Ben White, Alexander Zinchenko, and Gabriel Jesus. These players have become the backbone of the Arsenal team we see today. Not only that, Arsenal is also doing what Liverpool failed to do when competing for the title with City in the previous seasons. Arsenal is strengthening the squad mid-season, bringing in the likes of Leonardo Trossard and Jorginho in the winter transfer market, which shows how serious the club is about competing for the league. Arteta's early Arsenal side blended a direct approach with some longer spells of possession. They constantly looked to get their wide players into the spaces behind the opposition's defense. Arteta experimented with both 4-2-3-1 and 3-4-3 formations during his first 2 seasons. He tried to use Lacazette as a 10, but the French forward failed to link up play in crowded areas, which resulted in Arsenal losing the ball quickly in the final third. This also led to Aubameyang being less effective, as he couldn't make in-behind runs. Arteta also deployed Saka as a deep-lying playmaker. This also didn't work since the Swiss player is not press resilient, which led to the club losing control over the games. The lack of specific profiles in the squad was the main reason behind the club's struggling form during Arteta's first years. The manager couldn't implement his ideas due to his inherited team, forcing him to adopt a defensive approach. However, after recruiting the profiles Arteta needed, the club slowly left behind its pragmatic defensive approach and started to unlock a more direct and possession-based playstyle. With the arrival of Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko last summer, it became easier for Arteta to implement what he learned under Pepe in training since both players spent years being coached by the Spanish genius. This season, Arsenal is playing in a 4-3-3. Arteta relies on Zinchenko to dictate play and progress the ball from deeper areas as an inverted fullback. Partey acts as the anchor and metronome, helping to recover the ball and allowing Granit Xhaka to thrive in his new position as an advanced number 8. Odegaard occupies higher areas up the pitch and provides the creativity Arsenal lacked in previous years. Gabriel Jesus, or even Eddie Nketiah, who played while the Brazilian was injured, provide an outlet up top through their movement and combinations. And with Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka providing the width and directness Arteta needs, Arsenal started to demolish teams from start to finish. Arteta's style is heavily influenced by Pep Guardiola, which is understandable since Mikel spent years working as Pep's assistant. However, there's a single point that distinguishes Arsenal from Manchester City. Arteta is more tolerant of counterattacks and more direct. Vertical method of attack when sustainable. Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba have forged a solid defensive partnership that allows Arsenal to sit back when needed. The defensive pair is also unusually good at carrying the ball out of defense, which makes Arsenal deadly in transition. Even if Arsenal fails to win the league this season, there's no doubt that Arteta made a huge improvement to bring the club from failing to secure a top 4 finish to a team competing for the Premier League title. His flexibility, how he identifies and uses players, and the backing of the Arsenal board have entirely transformed the Gunners, and will surely lay the foundation for the club to compete in the coming years. Do you think Arsenal will win the first Premier League in 20 years under Arteta? Share your thoughts in the comments and remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Ciao.